You're tuned in to The Keetria Show and listening to SOB, Style of Business, the podcast with your host, Keetria. We aim to highlight the ongoing trek of entrepreneurs and business owners from around the globe, featuring stories that recount their struggles, experiences, and inevitable road to success and self-fulfillment. Welcome to SOB.
This podcast is being brought to you by my inspiring new book titled Courage is a Muscle, Using Heart to Power Your Entrepreneurial Dreams. You can grab your copy today on Amazon. What's up, y'all? Thanks so much for tuning in and checking out another hot episode of SOB, Style of Business, the podcast. I'm your host, Keetria. And today I have my good friend, Roberta Barbosa, who is on the line talking to us today about self-care, general wellness, how we can make that a priority, right? Because everybody's busy in her entrepreneurial journey. And so I'm so excited to have her on. She is the founder and creator of Indulgent Gifts, and she has a lot of good things going on. So definitely had to have her on the show. I'll give her a moment to drop that introduction, and we will roll right into the interview. So, hey, Roberta, how are you doing today? How's your day going?
Hi, Keetria. Thank you. It's great. Thanks. How about yours?
It's moving. It's moving. We're finally getting rain here in the area. So, that's considering the scorching heat we've had and the hay in the front yard, because the grass is so dry. We finally got some rain. So it's going good. It's going good. Thanks for asking.
That's awesome.
Yes, ma'am. So look, hey, we have been trying to, I know you didn't know anything about it, but I definitely wanted to have you on because you have so many wonderful things going on. You've been an advocate for self-care and wellness and just a healthy mindset and lifestyle in general. So I was excited to have you on to talk a little bit about that and to also get into this entrepreneurial journey. We just spent a couple of minutes laughing at a couple of things before we start recording. So, we'll get into that in a bit. But before we get started, if you will, give us a little bit about your background and let us know how you got started here.
Sure. Thank you, Keetria. So my background really is in technology. I've been in that industry for 30 years. And at the beginning of my career, it was very challenging because I had so many things to do in parallel. I didn't have a chance to just do one thing at a time. It was just like, it seems that everything that happened to me was always in three big projects or three big things to work in parallel. And I remember I didn't take time to do anything for self-care. No breaks. My breaks were like vacation from work to work on my school stuff. And also I did a second language class that I needed for my profession. And I didn't have enough time, but I remember I needed to have my short hair that I kept for 5 years.
Yeah.
And I need to go to the hair salon at least once every 2 months. And I remember one of my hairstylists, he looked at me once. Every time I would go there, I would go with books, with everything I needed to do to study for school. And he would look at me once and said, "You look stressed out. You know what? I'm not gonna put you on my chair for 2 hours. I want you to be distressed. I want you to be relaxed. I want you to be smiling, and then I can take you. But you're gonna be there for 2 hours in the reception." I was studying.
Yeah, that's crazy. 2 hours? Wow. In addition to having to wait for the appointment. Go ahead.
But he taught me a lesson, which was, you got to make the time. Otherwise, it's going to catch you and it's going to cut up with you. And then I definitely, that was a lesson because before that, I was going to the hospital sometimes and getting IV because I wasn't even eating. Like, it stressed out so much. I didn't eat much. I slept 3 hours a night. It was too crazy. So that was a huge lesson for me. And from that time on, I was like, let me go to the mall and get some coffee, or let me go to, I don't know, and take a walk at the mall. Don't need to buy anything. Just take a walk, take some breathing and so on. I didn't even work out at that time either. I didn't have the time. And I didn't make the time. I was like, okay, I need or the book or the exercise. Which one should be the book?
Yeah. Right.
So it's pretty much my story, and that was led me to live a little better until I finished the degree. It was an engineering 6 years degree, and after I finished, then I changed my lifestyle. I was like, okay, now I can think about going to the gym and go to the hair salon often. And then I could really breathe. But by the time I was just doing too much, it was. But that's what I need to do. But definitely the hairstylist was really super friend and opened my eyes to life pretty much.
Wow. So the hairstylist was actually that was your wake up call, right?
Absolutely.
Oh my goodness.
Amazing.
Yeah. And tell us about, okay, so now you know that you need to slow down. I mean, when you said 3 hours of sleep, I was like, I can manage on about 4 or 5 hours, probably 5 to be safe, but 3 hours of sleep, I can only imagine the type of insomnia.
And not only that, like you was low. Like, to me, I remember I was a little slower, but I was effective. Effective, but it's low. Yeah, and the skin. Oh my gosh, my skin was terrible. My dark circles looked like a Zorro mask.
Right.
It was really tough, and everybody could tell. Oh, did you sleep? Are you okay?
Damn,
are you sure? Crazy.
Wow. How many years were you able to, well, I'm not even going to say able because I don't know how well you were doing with that, but like just how many years do you think that you kind of were in that stage of just kind of going with the flow and getting minimal hours of sleep and not eating and just kind of running the system?
It was the 6 years pretty much. The first year was the toughest. Yeah. Wow. The first year was the toughest because then I didn't go to college because I wanted engineering. I waited 4 years between high school to get to college. So I waited 4 years to get to college from high school. And then I said, you know what? I need to do this. Whatever I need to do, I'll get it done. But it was tough. Mainly because I needed to go to school also on the weekends because we had the electric labs. So it was nonstop. But the sleep time, and then as your body is used to that, there's no way you can, if you have an hour, there's no way to take a nap. I couldn't take a nap or anything like that. That was really the 6 years, really tough.
The 6 years. Wow. Okay. So you hammered through all of this for 6 years, zombified. I don't even know. Whatever that means. But you get me, like you just kind of running through, and then your salon, you go to the salon and the stylist is like, hey, you need to take a break. So you start out on your, just kind of working to take better care of yourself. Like, what did that look like for you, and how was that difficult for you to finally transition to a period to where you said, okay, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'm going to do this, I'm going to work out or whatever, or I'm going to drink more water. Like, what was that process like for you to just say, okay, yeah, I'm going to do this, and then gradually get yourself to the point where you were doing it?
You mean after school, after all these?
Yeah, like after just kind of having that wake up call to where you said, okay, I'm going to go to the mall and just walk around and have that mental space to yourself to where you're out of the routine and the rut.
So that year, I believe I was on the 3rd year in school. So it was the 3rd year in school, but it's still until the end, I didn't slow down as I should. But what I did one year was I took 7 days. I said, okay, so 30 days vacation from work. And then what I'm going to do is, instead of just studying up right there, I'm going to get 1 week and I'm going to travel to another city. And I go with a friend, but this was after the hairstylist. Yeah, that's when I'm like, maybe I can do this. Maybe in the beginning of that vacation time of the break, I can travel somewhere, enjoy that time, and then when I come back, I can just go back and study whatever I need to study. Go back to the library. I was always at the library on my intervals too, but it still wasn't enough though, because then the responsibility came first. And so instead of saying, okay, self-care, so just a little bit, after what the hairstylist told me. But for sure, I will go back to his chair. I will not bring the book anymore.
Right.
That for sure.
I bet, right?
Sure. At least that. But I would, but like after that call, I just took vacation, like a few days out of the vacation from work to do something else for a week, and then I could focus on what I needed. It was tough still until the end, but because I still have that responsibility first. But after the school, after that, then I'm like, okay, now I really need to take care of myself. I don't want to be sleeping 3 hours a night. I need to work out. I need to do different things to improve everything in my life and attract the best opportunities too, right? Because if your frequency is bad, lower, we attract things that we are not meant to go through. Yeah. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, no, it definitely works like that. I agree with you 100%. I tell you what, it's a good thing to have people like that can kind of see things that we don't see, because sometimes we can just be on autopilot, right? And then you have those few people who kind of notice when things are off, and especially when you're just kind of running yourself down, because everybody's busy with something. Like, if you may have a family, a career, just whatever your obligations are. Sometimes it can be hard to find those, 15, 20 minutes for that space, but you got to do it in order to keep yourself sane, right? So I applaud you for that. And I definitely want to talk about Indulgent Gifts, because I know that was part of the inspiration, like your own personal story with discovering, okay, I need to incorporate a self-care routine, or I need to take, better care of myself in general. And I know that was part of one of the ideas behind Indulgent Gifts. So tell us a little bit more about that concept and how that got started, and share a little bit about your just getting that off the ground.
The Indulgent Gifts idea, it started with the concept of it wasn't even it was wellness, but not in the sense of focusing on skin or beauty. It was more towards gift baskets where you share a basket with someone, you see this big smile. So that was the concept. And I had experienced that too. At the same time, I was running like crazy for 6 years. I had experiences where people would bring me gifts, and the hardest times in my life too. So I was so busy, so upset about all the things I need to do, and all my it's more because of lack of sleep. Your emotions are all out of control, and then everything that is small, it seems that it amplifies. So, but when someone brought me some gifts, like for Christmas or for birthdays, oh my gosh, it wasn't really one. It was like, or a basket, or it was a kid, or it was anything. It really brought a smile to my face, and whatever stress situation that I felt, like, okay, I can address later. So that experience, I want to give to other people as well. I want to provide that to other people, because it's so amazing, and I love to give gifts. So that was the first concept on Indulgent Gifts. It started in 2012. People love to receive my gift basket. So why don't you start, your business? I'm like, yeah, I'm working on it in my head, right? Exactly. And then I thought about having a business since 2009, honestly. But then in 2012, I started doing the gift baskets. But still, I felt that I need more. I need information, like knowledge about business, because I was so technical, so IT still. And I waited until going to MBA classes. That's when I finished, I launched the Indulgent Gifts officially, and it was gift baskets. But throughout the years, I'm like, I don't want to just provide gifts for the sake of gifts. I want to do something that will be really pleasing to the receiver. So I put together some chocolate baskets, wellness baskets too, lotions and things for women. So they were a variety of baskets. And then I quit my day job 2017 to just push the Indulgent Gifts there. But I was still attached to my IT title, everything IT. And then I'm like, okay, I'm building Indulgent Gifts, but I want to build a software to help businesses that, provide the stuff for the Indulgent Gifts. But then I realized, well, I did exactly that for 9 months. I had saved money to do exactly that. But then I was focusing on the wrong things. So I'm like, I don't have money anymore. I need to go back to the job market.
Yeah.
And that's when I got my last job, 9 to 5. And it's still the same thing. And then I said, you know what? I'm going to be collecting emails. I'm going to have a page for Indulgent Gifts. I'm going to have a break for that. I'm going to have a page, get the email addresses. And then in the meantime, I'm gonna find out what I'm gonna do with that. But I felt so hurt that I couldn't go through with Indulgent Gifts, and I couldn't even look at the material or anything for pretty much 2 years because I was 17, and then. But what happened was, and then we had COVID.
Yeah.
So 2020, right? So 2020 was when I really thought about, well, everybody, I believe, had the shake, right? They're awake, like, oh my gosh, what is that?
Yeah.
What's happening here, right? In the beginning was a fear. Everybody was in fear because we didn't know what was going on. But as we were given the information, what was that, the virus and vaccination and stuff like that, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go back to the Indulgent Gifts. You know what? I'm going to start thinking about healthy, that's what we needed. Like, you see, like the most people who were really in trouble, unfortunately, were the ones who didn't take care of themselves, right? They had health issues, or there were so many factors. I'm like, maybe I can use Indulgent Gifts as a way to help people to achieve wellness, and I was going through also meditation. I think everybody was trying to find out so many things and to help out on that in that time, right? So that's when I'm like, yes, let me try to do this to Indulgent Gifts. So I'll do coffee now. Coffee is good.
Right.
I will do the self-care, but more defined self-care, bath bombs and other things that you can do at home. And then I had another one that was healthy snacks, but everything about wellness. And it was later in 2021, so I launched that. And later 2021, that's when I changed the direction. Said, you know what, I will do just products for women to look wonderful, to feel wonderful, to empower them. And that's when I came up with our proprietary skincare line and beauty accessories that we have today. But it took a little bit to get there, but it definitely, everything that happened during COVID pushed me to look away from when I started Indulgent Gifts to what is now, what it became. So, and definitely there's always room for improvement. There is always room for other things, but what we have now, it's really, to me, empowering.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. I love the fact that you just want to, like, the pivot, the story of how you just kind of pivoted from tech, and the fact that this was also an idea that you had while you were working in tech, and then when everything happened in 2020 or leading up to that, you just decided to take the leap. Like, that's a success story in itself, right? That you were able to do it. So I applaud you on that. And I know Indulgent Gifts, I know, like you were talking about, hey, it was the healthy snacks. I had all of this stuff, and narrowing it down a little bit to be more, you have a certain niche that you're focused on, and really just empowering women, which I love. And so, like, the products in themselves, like, you want to talk a little bit about, because I know they're like cruelty-free, paraben-free, like there's a lot of good different products that you offer. You want to get into that a little bit?
Oh, sure. So these products, they have more natural components, active components. So some products will have cucumbers chamomile that's great for soothing the skin. So for people who have sensitive skin, it's wonderful. I do have myself, and I remember buying. I use these products too, and I remember buying like very expensive products, and my skin will be the same thing, acne and allergies and stuff like that. But definitely one of the things now, the product will help, but the nutrition, everything that we eat, it really impacts our skin, and the quantity of water we consume throughout the day, every day, and plus exercising. Sweat is great for the skin as well.
Exactly. Yeah.
So there are different things, but I was doing all of those things already at that point, and my skin was kind of, I don't know what's going on, and it was pretty much the products. But then I found, because every time I select the product, I don't just like, okay, oh, it looks good, smells good, let me put on the store. No.
Yeah.
I tried the product for months on my skin, and if it irritates my skin or gets it dry, I don't sell at all. So I'm the test driver.
Okay, yeah.
and whatever happens to that, I'm like, okay, I just need to suspend that and wait for a little bit and try the next product. But we have a line of products for all types of skin, and we have the face lotions. The cleanser is wonderful. It's so light, and every time I use the cleanser, I feel like, oh my gosh, I don't need even the moisturizer, but definitely we do need moisturizer.
Yeah.
But the way it works, it's wonderful. The smell is really like when you're walking in nature, and you smell that clean, that fresh air, and that's the way these lotions smell. It smells like clean, and it's great for your skin. The Hydrate is one of the moisturizers that has one of the properties that is good to avoid wrinkles, like to prevent wrinkles. It's great.
Okay.
So if you want your skin a little firmer and prevent the wrinkles, it's a great product. But all of them are wonderful. I use them all, and I can't stress enough how good my skin is looking. Every time I don't use heavy makeup, and because I have dark circles, I still have. I think because of that time that was so crazy back in the day, I think that was the consequence of not sleeping.
Oh,
so this will never go away. I need to always put some tea bag there or something like that to make it go away. But so I put light makeup, just like concealing and powder, just to blend. And people think I'm putting like the heavy makeup underneath because it's so soothing. It's all because of these beauty products I have in Indulgent Gifts. It's interesting how a moisturizer, washing with the right cleanser and use the right products do for your skin. It's amazing.
Wow, that can be a game changer. All right, so you guys be sure to go to indulgentgifts.com, and I'll, of course, here in a second, Roberta will, or a little bit later, she'll give you guys the socials and the websites to visit that and check out the products and to connect with her. But before we get into that, I want to jump into the entrepreneurial journey. I know you've given us a lot of information already about, the process and even getting into officially launching Indulgent Gifts, but like, as far as your experience, like what have you encountered any did you ever come up against a time where you were like, you know what, I'm just done, I'm gonna go back to the job, 9 to 5, and we'll look at this a little bit later. Like, so what type of things have maybe put you in that space, if any at all? And then we'll get into a little bit more of that, but let's start there first. Like, has anything just kind of made you stop in your tracks and rethink going down this road?
Yes, my professional experience for sure. When I started my IT career was by choice. So I started even before 15, when I was 15, my father gave us a machine when I was 7 years old, and like from me and my siblings to play. It was a video game, but it was pretty much, it looked like a little keyboard with soft keys, and we used that to play games. And that was the starting point for my IT career. So later on, I found some classes, IT related classes, and it was just independent. I was 13, I believe.
Oh, wow.
Then I wanted to take those classes. I took those classes all because of that little experience when I was 7 years old. And then going forward, so I had 2 jobs in Brazil. One I lasted, I stayed for 2 years. It was so when I was 15, but I realized that I couldn't grow, and I was young to think that way, but I couldn't grow in that position. And I asked her on my review, like at the end they want to, because I was a contractor, they want to hire me full time. And then they said, well, can I do this? Can I do that? No, you can't. You need to be doing whatever you're doing. I'm like, well, it is valid for 2 years. Now I'm done. So next job lasted 10 years. And I left just because I was moving to the U.S. But that job, I was moving up, like doing different things every 2 years. So I was growing with the company. It was amazing. And then when I came to the States, I started working in software development. So in Brazil, it was all like IT, different areas. And then here, I said, I want to keep track on, go back like as a software developer and see how that goes. But I realized that here, if you get a role, if you get a position, you got to be really certain that you want that position. Otherwise, because unless the company is growing, and unfortunately, the companies I worked here, they were about 11. They didn't have space for growth. And every review in every company, I'll be like, how can I grow here? How can I grow here? Because I was doing more things, I expanded my role, but they didn't have a space to accommodate what I became. So I overgrew pretty much in that role. And then I need to leave. So every 2 years, I will change jobs, every 2 years. And then until in 2009, I had this job. We had the crisis, the crisis here, the housing crisis.
Oh, yeah.
And I lost a job in 2007 that I liked. Well, lost. The investors pulled the money, the startup. And I liked that job. And then I know that in 2008, I needed to leave because they brought the investors back when it got better, but then they lost the investors again. They couldn't pay us. So they couldn't pay us. I'm like, I need to move.
Yeah. So
was the following job that got me thinking, there's no way that I can be in a company and grow.
Yeah.
It seems that everybody is positioned, whatever they're doing. People in some companies, you see people there for 10, 20 years, and this is not a company. Unfortunately, when you see this, it means the company is not growing, and the positions are already taken. If you want something, you definitely need to go somewhere else. So in 2009, I wasn't happy. I couldn't make a move at that point, 2009. And 2 years, 1 year in that company, I'm like, oh my gosh, is there anything I can do? The recruiters are like, no, you can't move. Nobody's hiring. People are being laid off. The crises are just getting worse. So I attended this, and I didn't know what to do. I'm like, okay, IT, that's what it is. That's what I know. What else is out there? So I attended a code camp in Tampa. It was the software developers conference, and at that time they called code camp. And then they announced at that event that it was a Saturday. And then they said, next day, we're going to have a business camp all day. We're going to talk about business. We're going to do exercises and stuff like that. So I stayed. That was the path. That was the eye opener for me. Oh my gosh, there's something else out there, which is business. That's what I should be doing. And that was the path. So at the end of the day, the bad situations are not really bad. They are just like, they are just pushers. They are the ones that they enlighten our path to really pick the right things for us.
Right. Yeah.
So sometimes we are just into that. Oh, I chose this. I'm going to stick with this because it's comfortable. You know what you're doing. There's no that, that every day will be different in technology because everything changes all the time. But you're familiar with that role. You're familiar what you need to search for and stuff like that. So when you have an uncomfortable situation that's really shaking you, and then you start asking the questions, why is this happening to me? But at the end, as they say, It's happening for you.
Right.
It's opening your eyes because there's so much more out there you can try. Because our lives are, we live in a world of experimentation. If we don't try, we will never know how big we can become, and we cannot be afraid of that. So that's when that business camp helped me to understand that process and see beyond what I was used to, and that was really magic. And of course, and then the Pandora box just opens, right? Like, oh my gosh, I don't think I'm enough. Oh, I need more information. I need another degree, or I need. And at the end of the day, the answers are inside you. You just need to trust yourself.
Exactly. Oh, I love that explanation. Yeah, we always think we have to have more, right? Or to be more, when really we are already equipped. And sometimes too, like you said, those resources are especially helpful in helping us determine the next step. So yeah, there's no wrong turns, right? Like we just have to take a different route.
Absolutely. And I always remember that the bad experience is the eye opener we need, the shake up we need to search for something else. So the bad experiences, most of the time, they are good for us. We can see at the time, of course, I couldn't see at that time, but looking back, oh my gosh, if I had the knowledge I have today at that time, oh my gosh, I wouldn't do MBA. I would jump right on.
Right. Just get off while you're ahead. Hey, sounds like it might be a safe bet to some, right?
Exactly.
No, that's a good way to look at it, Roberta. I appreciate you sharing that. And it's so tell us, like, or do you, okay, so we have Indulgent Gifts, we know we have the product line. Are there any other, what else are you looking to get into within this next year? Because I know that you are just kind of freshly getting your heels sunk into this road. So anything else that you want to share before we get ready to wind it up? I know you got a lot of good stuff going on with the products and even the routines. I checked out the updated website, and I know you got like the routines, giving people ideas and inspiration, which that's a plus. But anything else? Are you looking to do anything else before the end of the year, or let's say the first quarter of next year?
For Indulgent Gifts, I'll be partnering with more stores, physical stores, and beauty salons as well. So that's one of the things, because there's so much good stuff out there, and also Indulgent Gifts good stuff might be a complement to what they already offer. So I think that will be a great partnership. And also I'm starting a consulting company to help businesses, teams, individuals to thrive. So I'll be launching this new venture this coming week.
Okay.
And I'll be offering some classes as well. So like some workshops. I love workshops, give workshops, because that's when you interact with everybody and we can help each other and to thrive, to grow. So that's what's next for me. So a lot going on for Indulgent Gifts. There will be a lot going on for this consulting as well. That'll be amazing.
That's good. Hey, that's excellent. It's good to, have some various things happening. It expands the chances of reaching to where you're trying to get. So I love that. Before we get ready to wrap up, leave us with a couple of words of inspiration for anybody who is looking to get started but not sure where to start, or maybe just somebody needs to hear a couple of words of motivation and inspiration, and they share that with us real quick.
If you have an idea and you're thinking and starting when you have the right resources, as we were talking here, don't. Because your idea you might put in the drawer, and then you might even pick up the idea later on. Your idea, you're going to have a different idea in your head, and whatever you wanted to do, or maybe you got started but you never finished, don't do it. Just do it. Like whatever you have in mind, just put up an easy plan. I don't even recommend putting a full business plan together, because I did that the first time around. It didn't work. So what do you need? You need the goal for your business. Definitely you need a business model. Definitely you need to know what you're going to offer, what you're going to charge, and you need a marketing plan. If you can make the market plan one page, is even better. Because if you spend time just planning, you're not going to be executing. If you're not executing, you're not even testing, right? You don't know exactly what the customers are looking for. You can do the research, market research, but when you put yourself out there, that's going to be really the feedback you need. Because you can go by the book. It's easy. But just putting yourself out there, you're going to find the resources, you're going to find the mentors you need. You're going to find exactly what people are looking for. And you're going to have the feedback to put you on the right track. So do it. If you are just holding back, don't hold back. Do it now. Start today. Start drafting your business, what you're going to do, your business model, your market plan. That's it. And start like today. This is easy. Get your computer. It's easy to do. And little by little, then you plan, okay, how I'm going to execute that. So you need an action plan after you put this together. But you got to make sure also that you're going to do what you like to do, not for the money. The money will come, but you need to make sure you like to do what you're about to do. That's it.
Wow. She just dropped some gems, so that's the gold part, Roberta. You just dropped them gems. Like, we spend too much time planning and not executing and actually putting in the work and the action. So that's extremely powerful advice. Hey, if y'all are on the ledge and y'all ain't, scared to do it, you better go ahead and do it, because that's really the only way you're going to get results. And then, if all else fails, do something else, just keep moving and keep trying. So I love that. Appreciate that. Indulgent Gifts founder and CEO, Miss Roberta Barbosa, my good friend. Let us know where the guests can reach you online. If anybody wants to connect for products, learn more about you, and also consulting, please feel free to drop your website, social handles, just whatever you got. And then, you guys make sure you reach out to Roberta and, keep up with what she's doing.
Definitely. Thank you, Keetria. That's wonderful. You can find more about Indulgent Gifts at indulgentgifts.com or at the Instagram account at Indulgent Gifts LLC. And you can reach out to me on LinkedIn or through Instagram. I am Roberta Barbosa. You can find me also on Facebook and the consulting. I also have a coaching page right now if you'd like to take a look. It's robertabarbosa.com. Thank you, Keetria.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Roberta. I appreciate you being a guest. We're going to have you back once we got some other stuff that we didn't cover, because I know you well, we'll talk about that later. We'll leave it here. All right. Anyway, you have a good rest of the day, and I look forward to having you back. Take care.
Thank you. Take care. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for hanging out with us here on SOB. We hope this episode has been resourceful. If you'd like to check out the latest articles or follow Keetria's website updates, just log on to Keetria.com or follow her on Twitter at KEETRIA.